So welcome back to the class on aerodynamics. Today we will be discussing an interesting topic, non-lifting flow over a circular cylinder, right? So circular cylinder is one of the most basic geometric shapes, and the study of the flow around the circular cylinder is actually a classic problem in aerodynamics. So I start with So I acknowledge John T. Anderson's Fundamentals of Aerodynamics. Right now, since we have enough information on the basic elementary flows, I will be going through this. I can say that the combination. Right. So let me write the combination of elementary flows. So please follow and please write in your notebook, right? Combination of the basic flows or elementary flows. So we know that there is a uniform flow, right? So this is a uniform flow. Please draw with me in your notebooks, right? So that it will be very easy for you. So I want to have a uniform flow, and I want to have a uniform flow and a doublet flow. Right? Source flow and the sink flow kept at a distance L, and then we limit that case to L is equal to 0, and we arrive to a doublet flow. And the doublet flow has a strength of kappa that we already know, right? So when you have a uniform flow, right? Here it is a uniform flow, and here you have a doublet flow. So we can arrive at the non-lifting flow over a circular cylinder, right? So please draw nicely in your notebook, right? Right? So you have a doublet, and when there is a flow, uniform flow, and this is a flow over a circular cylinder. If you draw again and again, you will enjoy aerodynamics. Please draw it, right? So the combination of the doublet flow, uniform flow, and the doublet flow will give you a non-lifting flow over a circular cylinder. So let me name this particular point A and this particular point B, and this radius is R, and we can take the R as a vector, and we can mark the angle theta, right? So please take it. This is flow over a circular cylinder. Please note it. Flow over a circular cylinder. So I note this point here. Maybe this is C, and another point here as D. That's outside the cylinder. So on the surface of the cylinder, I write here as psi is equal to 0. That we will come across, right? So this is flow over a circular cylinder. Now, you know already the stream function for uniform flow. What is the stream function for uniform flow? So please, somebody can say that V infinity or sin theta. What about doublet? Tanisha, what will be the stream function for the doublet flow?
So it's minus k sine theta by 2 pi r.
Yeah, minus for sin theta by 2 pi r, right? Okay. So here the flow over a circular cylinder, I can write V infinity or sin theta plus, not plus, probably minus for sin theta by 2 pi r. So with this, we will start our discussion. Okay. Is it okay? Have you taken? We can go to the next page. This is the superposition of uniform flow and a doublet flow, which in turn gives you a non-lifting flow over a circular cylinder. One can have an intuition of this particular flow. You have a uniform flow and a doublet flow. So the uniform flow which goes through the doublet flow, it creates a circular cylinder, right? And this circular cylinder, wherever there is a flow inside is because of the doublet. Outside this particular psi is equal to 0 is because of the uniform flow. We will study all those one by one, right? Right. Now, I will write this equation. We have psi is equal to V infinity or sin theta minus cos sin theta by 2 pi r, right? So we can write this, we can reduce this equation. Psi is equal to V infinity or sin theta into 1 minus kappa by 2 pi r V infinity. 2 pi, this r, so we will have r square V infinity, right? So let us consider here. So let me consider, let r, I will write r square is equal to the kappa by 2 pi V infinity. So I will write this as r square. Then this equation for stream function becomes v infinity r sine theta into 1 minus r square by r square. So this is the equation for the stream function. This is the equation right. So this is the equation for the stream function of uniform flow and doublet combination. Uniform flow and doublet combination. Right? So please note it. Also, it's a stream function for a flow over a circular cylinder with radius r. Right? We have a radius r. So we can say that this is also a stream function. Right? This is the equation for a stream function for flow over a circular cylinder with a radius r. Right? So please note it. Now let us calculate the velocity. One is radial velocity and another one is the tangential velocity. So we will calculate Vr and V theta. Okay. Vr and V theta we need to calculate. What is the equation for Vr? We know the stream function. I will write the stream function here. This is V infinity r sine theta into 1 minus r square by r square. So somebody can say what is Vr in terms of stream function? Please say the stream function in terms of stream function. How can we calculate Vr? Anyone? Vr and V theta. We can calculate Vr and V theta. In terms of stream function, how can we say the Vr? Come forward. Even if you say wrong answer, that is fine. In the classroom, there is nothing like right answer or wrong answer, and we try to learn, right? So please come forward. If you refer your notes, you can straight away answer. What is Vr? Anyone? Aruna Priyadarshini. What is Vr? Harikaran. How can we calculate Vr? I think you forgot, right?
Okay. Sir, is it 1 by psi d psi by d theta?
1 by r.
Oh, 1 by r, okay.
Yeah, dou psi by dou theta. Nice. Then V theta is equal to minus dou psi by dou r. So please calculate what it is. What is Vr? Please do it fast and say what is Vr and what is V theta. So you know psi here. So do this mathematical operation and finally we can get. So I will write this 1 minus r square by r square into v infinity cos theta. Because you have 1 by r here, so here you have 1 r. Then minus dou psi by dou r. So that is equal to minus, say, first v infinity r sin theta into 2 r square by r cube plus 1 minus r square by r square into v infinity sin theta. So we can reduce this equation finally, minus 1 plus r square by r square v infinity sin theta. So this is VR and this is v theta, right? So VR is the velocity in the radial direction and v theta is the velocity in the tangential direction, right? Is it fine? Akshanash, right?
Sir, Akshansh.
What is it? Akshan.
Akshansh, yes, sir.
Okay, Akshansh. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Akshansh, is it fine? You have arrived
Yes,
to this point? Okay,
yeah.
good. So now what I will do is I will say a condition, because we know very well that when there is a flow, we have a stagnation point. So stagnation point is a point where we can say VR is equal to 0 and V theta is equal to 0, then that is the stagnation point. So can you calculate the stagnation point? Because this will be equated to 0 and this also will be equated to 0 now. So please calculate the stagnation point. You have you need to calculate what is r comma theta, right? R comma theta you need to calculate so that you can get to the stagnation point. I will write this equation, that is 1 minus r square by r square v infinity cos theta equal to 0, and similarly 1 minus r 1 plus r square by r square v infinity sin theta is equal to 0. So please solve this two equation. If you solve this two equation, you can arrive to r comma theta. So what is r comma theta? Some of you can solve, right? You can solve the equation and let me know what is r and what is theta.
Sir, I'm getting R as plus or minus capital R.
Plus or minus capital R, then
And
theta.
theta is, I mean, 0 or pi, I guess.
Yeah. So plus or minus R, maybe we have a radius, so there is no minus R. So we can say that R comma 0 can be one option, and R comma pi can be another option. Now I will ask you a question. R comma 0 and R comma pi. Where it lies? Where is R comma 0? We say this is theta. Where is R comma 0? Theta 0. Where is
So point A.
point A is R comma 0 and point B is R comma pi. Is it fine? So R comma 0 and R comma pi are the corresponding points of A and B, which is in turn a stagnation points. Right? Now, see, if it is a stagnation point, again we have one more condition. What is that? Psi is equal to 0 throughout this line, right? So can you calculate psi stream function? This is the stream function you have. This is the stream function you have. Can you say what is the stream function at the point A? At the point A, what is psi?
So 0.
0. What about at point B? Zero. Good. So the streamlines goes through both the stagnation points. Right? We can come to a conclusion that the streamline goes through both the stagnation points. All these points are very important for your GATE exam. So please note it. Right? Okay. So in this case, we have already psi is equal to 0. And one can say nicely that psi is equal to 0. Then whatever the flow inside this is because of the doublet, and the flow outside is because of the uniform flow. Right? So at the line where psi is equal to 0. Now, since we can replace the flow inside the circle by a solid body, and we can say that this solid body, right, this can be replaced by a solid body because there is no issue with the external flow, right? So we can replace this particular circle and put a solid body, and the outside flow will not feel any difference, right? Because here psi is equal to 0 on the surface. So this is very interesting information, where with the elementary flow, we have simulated a flow over a circular cylinder, and we can write this radius R is root of kappa by 2 pi v infinity, because we have already mentioned that R square is equal to this kappa by 2 pi v infinity, and hence here R is equal to root of kappa by 2 pi v infinity, right? So the entire flow field around this particular cylinder is symmetrical, right? It is symmetrical about the horizontal axis and symmetrical about the vertical axis, right? And hence the pressure distribution is also symmetrical about horizontal axis and symmetrical about the vertical axis. Now I will ask you a question. Say if you have a circular cylinder, right? Say this is a circular cylinder and you have a flow here. I said there is a flow, right? There is a uniform flow. From the uniform flow, you have a flow. And what I am saying is now, whatever the force, whatever the pressure distributed on the upper surface is equal to the lower surface, right? Do you remember sometimes back we were discussing about the flow and the force, the pressure and the force? Do you remember what is pressure? Pressure drag or pressure force is the difference between the pressure acting on this part, this particular area to this particular area. Similarly, the lift is because of the upper surface and the lower surface. Do you remember? Anyone? So if I want to say the force acting on the direction, say drag, right? Is it audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the force acting on the x direction and force acting on y direction. Say force acting on x direction is because of the pressure difference between the front and the rear surface, right? So now what will be the force? What will be the force? Akshan, can you, is it audible?
Yes, sir, it's audible.
So please say, now I say that the force here and here is equal. Correct? What will be the net force?
The pressure difference times the area.
Yeah, no, that is correct. So the pressure difference times the area and the pressure difference times the area, right? So pressure into area, and both the pressures are equal, and both the area are equal. Then what is the net force?
So 0.
Net is 0. What about upper surface? The pressure distribution on the upper surface and the lower surface is same. Then what about the force in y direction?
That will also be 0.
That will also be 0. So it means that if the distribution is symmetrical, right? Here the distribution is symmetrical around horizontal and vertical axis, the net lift and the net drag, the net lift and the net drag is equal to 0. Right? So this has some problem now. Because if you say someone that when there is a fluid flow and the net force becomes 0, right? So this paradox between this paradox is because of we are not considering the real flow, and it is a theoretical flow anyway, right? But in the real case, there is a net lift and net drag. But in the case of theoretical study, we arrive to a particular point where the net lift and the net drag is 0, and this paradox is termed as D'Alembert's paradox. Please note. So this was explained by a French man, Jean Leron D'Alembert. Right? And hence this is called D'Alembert's paradox. Okay. Now, so we want to see the velocity distribution on the surface of the cylinder. We already know the velocity Vr, and we already know V theta. What is Vr? 1 minus r square by r square, V infinity cos theta, and similarly minus 1 plus r square by r square into V infinity sine theta. And for a circular cylinder, we know R is equal to R. Right? Here, in the case of the discussion, we have R, this is R we have considered, and the theta, here we have considered theta, right? I hope you remember this. This is R, and here we have taken theta. Right? So, here we can say that V theta is positive in increasing theta, right? Same theta. So when R is equal to R, what will happen to VR? What is VR?
It becomes 0.
It becomes 0. What about V theta? The velocity on the surface. When R is equal to R, this becomes 1. Then it becomes minus 2 V infinity sine theta. Okay. So now the velocity at the surface reaches maximum. Say, for example, this is the circular cylinder. I say this is a circular cylinder, and you have a velocity, free stream velocity V infinity, and I said you have a theta, here this is theta, and this is R, right? And where will be the maximum velocity? Can you say when here it is theta equal to 0, here the theta is equal to 90 degree, and here it is 180 degree, and here it is 270 degree. Where the velocity will become maximum?
So at 90 and 270?
Yeah. So the idea here is When at 90 degree it become 2v infinity. Similarly, here it become 2v infinity. So when there is a flow, the maximum velocity is 2v infinity, that is at 90 degree and 270 degree, right? So this is the location where you have a maximum velocity, right? Why there is a maximum velocity when there is a free stream velocity is v infinity? Why there is 2v infinity here? Because of the flow acceleration. We will have a detailed discussion next time, right? Now, you know the velocity at any point theta. Now, I want to calculate the pressure distribution, right, or pressure coefficient. Let me write the pressure coefficient. So what is the pressure coefficient equation? Cp is equal to 1 minus, in terms of velocity, 1 minus v by v infinity square. Do you remember? Anyone remember?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now I want to substitute this v instead of v. We can substitute our v, right? V theta. So what is Cp? What is our v theta is equal to minus 2v infinity sine theta. So what is the answer now?
So 1 minus 4 sine square theta.
Yeah. So Cp is equal to 1 minus 4 sine square. So this is an wonderful theoretical information for Cp over a circular cylinder, right? I have a circular cylinder. Now I ask you, there is a circular cylinder and a free stream velocity v infinity, and this is theta, right? Theta varies. Now I am asking you, what is the pressure at this location? What is Cp at this location, all these location? I want to calculate the Cp. Why I am interested in Cp here? Because if I know the coefficient of pressure, I can calculate the coefficient of drag, right? And the coefficient of lift. And if I know coefficient of drag and lift, I can do various characteristics. In the airplane, if you know coefficient of pressure, then coefficient of drag can be calculated, coefficient of lift can be calculated, and the whole performance of the airplane can be calculated. Okay. Now, the question here is, you know Cp now, Cp equal to 1 minus 4 sine square theta. So what will be the maximum and minimum value for Cp? Cp varies between, what is the maximum Cp possible here?
1.
1. Nice. What will be the minimum Cp?
Minus 3.
3.
Yeah.
Minus
So, minus 3. So your Cp should vary between 1 and minus 3 only, right? So usually the students, when they do the aerodynamics laboratory and they do this calculation, they come back with a various number and we say no. Because we already know that the Cp can vary between only 1 and minus 3, right? Around this. It may not be exactly 1, maybe less than 1, greater than 1. Okay, what about 1? Cp1 at what location?
Sir, at the stagnation points.
Wonderful. So the Cp equal to 1 corresponds to the stagnation point. Okay, very nice and very interesting discussion today. Now I want you to plot a graph that is between CP and theta, right? So please plot the CP and theta. So let me assume that this is 0 and somewhere here it is pi by 2 and pi 3 pi by 2. Similarly, on the other direction, I can have minus pi by 2 and pi minus pi and minus 3 pi by 2. What will be the value for CP here at 0? So if I say 0, you should imagine this, right? Here it is 0, pi by 2. You know all this. Similarly, on the other direction, it is minus pi by 2. So what will be the CP at 0? What is the CP at 0?
1, sir.
1, sir.
1, correct. 1. What about CP at pi by 2? Pi by 2.
-3.
-3, right? I can say that 1, 2, 3. Okay, I will note here -3. What about at pi?
1.
1. What about 3 pi by 2?
-3.
So your CP distribution like this. You will draw this practically in the aerodynamics lab, and you will appreciate there. Okay. So now again on the other side, I can go so this is the CP distribution over a circular cylinder, right? I want you to read further to note which one is the upper surface and which one is the lower surface and so on. Okay. So that's all the flow over the circular cylinder, and this is basically from the combination of uniform flow, right? Combination of elementary flows, uniform flow and doublet flow, and we know the steam function for uniform flow, steam function for the doublet, and we have done the psi for both, and then we have derived the equation by considering the v theta Vr, and then Vr equal to 0 and v theta equal to 0 in order to find the stagnation point. And we have found the stagnation point, and then at the stagnation point, points pass through the, streamlines pass through the stagnation points by substituting both the r comma theta in the steam function. Then we understand that the front and the rear and upper and the lower surface, the forces are acting same, and then the net force is 0, net lift and net drag is 0, and hence we have considered the D'Alembert's paradox. This is called D'Alembert's paradox. Then we want to try to calculate the maximum velocity upper and the lower surface, right? So 90 degree and 270 degree, we understand that the 2 times the velocity v infinity. Then we have calculated the pressure coefficient, because we know that the pressure coefficient is the only key to calculate the coefficient of drag and coefficient of lift. Then we know Cp varies between 1 and -3. Then we have calculated, we have distributed the Cp for the circular cylinder. I stop at this point, right, for the today's discussion. Thank you very much.